The Prime Minister's going to be addressing the National Press Club later on today.
This is a Prime Minister who is great at making speeches, but he's hopeless at delivery.
How much are you sweating on the Prime Minister being able to hit the reset button today?
It's always a great event because it sets out where we're going for the year.
Today we saw a Prime Minister under intense pressure. As he said himself at today's Press Club address, it has been a very difficult summer.
It has been tough raising your family, keeping your job, doing your job. And I don't doubt many have stayed awake at night after telling their kids or those they care for or those they employ, it's all going to be okay. But wondering themselves in the quiet of that night whether it really will be.
The PM too must be lying awake at night wondering if it will be okay. Not just the outlook for the economy, but for his own future and that of the government. Yesterday, the first news poll for the year contained the sort of numbers that spell deep political trouble for Scott Morrison. The poll suggests a result which would see the government lose office and 25 seats. But the PM's own standing has also crashed as preferred Prime Minister compared to opposition leader Anthony Albanese, and his approval ratings have slumped. This poll crystallised all the frustrations and anger of the summer with the government on Omicron, rat tests, collapsing supply chains and a crisis in aged care. You've acknowledged today you didn't get everything right and that you understand the frustration people have felt over the summer. But do you want to take this opportunity to actually say sorry for the mistakes you've made as Prime Minister?
We're all terribly sorry for what this pandemic has done to the world and to this country.
When I say we haven't got everything right, let me reflect on a couple of them for you. As we went into the summer, I think we were too optimistic perhaps, and we could have communicated more clearly about the risks and challenges that we still faced. The restaurants are opening and a big Christmas is coming for all of us. And I think in raising those expectations about the summer, that we heightened the great sense of disappointment that people felt.
You don't have to say sorry about any of those things.
I think I've explained my answer fairly fully.
The Prime Minister spoke for a long 40 minutes today before taking questions. He seemed to feel he had a lot of ground to make up, a lot of fires to put out.
In coming months, 2 bonus payments of up to $400 each will be paid to aged care workers, including those providing direct care, food or cleaning services.
And there were a lot of announcements about modern manufacturing and research and ideas, all very much in the realm of Malcolm Turnbull's innovation agenda, though the commitment to harnessing the power of universities' research for commercial purposes sits uncomfortably with the government's record of limiting their access to JobKeeper, a decision which coincided with the loss of thousands of university jobs.
We are going to take our modern manufacturing strategy to the next level. And we're doing that by fusing it with greater investment in our world-class university research capabilities.
But the announcement of bonus payments for aged care staff was one of the few nods to the various problems currently engulfing the country that led to a new policy. The government is banking on the pandemic easing and the economy taking off in the next few weeks. Scott Morrison predicted an unemployment rate
with a 3 in front of it this year.
Despite the bullish prediction, today's speech showed the Prime Minister beginning the year on a very defensive note, unlike the opposition leader who spoke at the same venue last week.
Australia can emerge from this once-in-a-century crisis better, stronger, more fair and more prosperous. It requires leadership that brings Australians together.
Anthony Albanese has been widely criticised for not making a big impression on voters since becoming Labor leader in 2019. But this week he finds himself in contention, according to the polls. But last week, unencumbered by the problems now facing the government, he was able to set out a broad, if undetailed, agenda with a commitment to the public health system at its heart.
Protecting the health of Australians will be a defining issue in the upcoming election, and a critical choice will be this. Who do you trust to keep Medicare safe? Only Labor will protect Medicare.
It was a simple and again undetailed statement, but one which was a reminder that health and education are two areas that are traditionally Labor's strong points, and they are now front and centre of the national political contest in an era of COVID. Gone are the complex tax changes which scared many voters in 2019. Albanese has a short list of priorities that also includes addressing insecure work, rebuilding the TAFE system, boosting local manufacture, supporting a high-quality NBN and affordable childcare. And of course, there is plenty of criticism of the government's performance and of the Prime Minister.
The states have done a great job in picking up the slack from the slackers government in living memory.
The opposition leader will face pressures of his own in coming months to put some flesh on what are currently motherhood statements of intent. But he knows for now the pressure is on his opponent.
In a recent profile, when asked to reflect on his time in office, Mr Morrison suggested that he is not interested in leaving a legacy. For him, leaving no legacy is a conscious choice. I find this pretty remarkable. If given the opportunity, I want to make a real difference for the people of our nation and to strengthen the nation itself.
If there is a constant to the government's vulnerability over its handling of the pandemic, it is not that mistakes were made, but that lessons don't seem to have been learned.
It is beyond comprehension that this government has actively refused to learn from this pandemic. This government has failed repeatedly on testing, tracing, vaccinations and quarantine, the grand slam of pandemic failure.
But on this at least, Scott Morrison is fighting back.
I haven't got everything right. And I'll take my fair share of the criticism and the blame. It goes with the job. But with hindsight, the view does change and lessons are learned, lessons that will continue to be invaluable to me and so many of my team who are here with me today and those who are out there with Australians in their communities to deal with the challenges and uncertainties that are still definitely ahead.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.